What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Fantasy Feud. Mason's doing the run. You know it's time to do the fantasy stuff today. We're talking Bengals and Raiders for playoffs this week. We're just talking general matchup stuff, but before we get into that today, I want to say, can can you see this image right here? This one I'm pointing at. 96.5% of you aren't
Word.
subscribed to the channel that are watching our videos. That is absolutely absurd. And if you could do us a favor, just hit that subscribe button. You know, the videos aren't bad. We discuss football. You know, that's our thing. That's what we do, right? And if you subscribe to the channel, you might as well like the video as well because it's pretty solid. We've been putting in the time to make our thumbnails a lot cooler for you guys. So appreciate that, please. And then comment down below
It
anything
looks
you think that's
awesome.
gonna comment down below what you think's gonna happen in the game this week with the Raiders and Bengals. But I am going to give it over to Mason. I'm gonna let him start things off today and see what he wants to talk about first with this game.
Guys, before we get going, I don't want this to sound like a farewell to the Raiders. But I'm gonna preface this with that I am a big Bengals believer this week, but we're gonna break it down. So honestly, the Raiders have played tough. You tell me at the beginning of the year that they're gonna make the playoffs, I'll be like, yeah, maybe. They've got a solid roster, but then you look at everything they've gone through this year. They've made the playoffs despite the John Gruden emails. That was huge. Henry Ruggs fatal crash, Damon Arnett gun video, Darren Waller injury, Kenyon Drake injury, Nate Hobbs DUI arrest before Week 18, Derek Carr, and Rich Bisaccia. They've done a great job of bringing this team together despite all of this mishaps. So pushing forward, the Raiders do have a lot to play off of. Derek Carr is, I think he's a very faithful man. You know, but I think he is just a believer of the team. He believes in the process, and he believes so much that they can go out and get it done every week. So good for them. I think they're an okay team, but I don't think they have what it takes. So, do you have anything to touch on that before I get going into the Bengals?
Yeah, not really much about the Raiders. I don't think they're gonna win this week, but if the Raiders are going to win, they're gonna need some Carr magic. I think it's
They
gonna
are.
be one of the. They're gonna need Derek Carr to go out and get 300 yards. They're gonna need him to give the ball to Hunter Renfrow 10 times and have let Hunter Renfrow run free. I don't really see. I mean, they could get it done on the ground with Josh Jacobs because the Bengals' rush defense isn't the greatest in the world, but it's definitely improved from the last few years. And I think Cincinnati's pass defense is bottom of the league in terms of fantasy points allowed because they allow so many yards. So I don't know. The Raiders have a chance here, but I think what you're going to talk about with Cincinnati's guys, I think the way they're playing right now, they're just so good right now.
We can break down their last meeting. They played this year. Back in November, the Bengals won 32-13. All right. Derek Carr had 215 passing yards, a touchdown, and a pick. Josh Jacobs ran the ball 9 times for 37 yards. I believe they will change that this time. Um, not that they need to run the ball against the Bengals front line, but because it is dangerous, it's scary. It scares me. I mean, they've got some great players, but they were not able to execute very well in offense. And Josh Jacobs has been doing okay. When he does okay, Derek Carr's been able to go out there, throw the ball. Joe Burrow last time, he only had 150 passing yards, a touchdown. Joe Mixon really is the guy that got it done. 30 carries, 123 yards, 2 touchdowns. I guessing we're going to see a lot of Joe Mixon still. But yeah, that's kind of like just a breakdown of the last time they met.
You know what we're going to see? We're going to see some Jamar Chase in this game. I think obviously Joe Mixon's going to do his thing. The Raiders have one of the worst rush defenses in the league, but I think this time Joey B is going to unleash a little bit because he's just been an absolute tear last 2 weeks, like 1,000 yards the last two games essentially. I mean, he's just been unstoppable, and Jamar Chase has been a large component to that. The receiving core there in Cincinnati is just a bunch of three studs. I mean, you can't even argue that. I think Jamar Chase had the last big game for them, so it's probably T. Higgins' turn to have another big game, but you never really know with them because all three of them are so good. And Joe Mixon hasn't had his big game in a while, and why not against a bad rush defense? So there's just so many signs pointing upwards for Cincy here that I just can't believe that the Raiders have a chance. But there's a few interesting things about the Raiders, like Darren Waller coming back last week, that can keep them kind of
Aaron
competitive.
Waller,
Yeah.
he's back. He's questionable. He's limited right now, but for him to come back this week, it's going to be big for the Raiders and the Bengals. Logan Wilson's going to have to. I don't know who's going to Bell, one of the corners. But he will be their essentially when he's 100%, he's their best pass catcher. I do love Renfro, but he's not Darren Waller. The Bengals, the only part that scares me is that if Joe Burrow, he's been on such and a tear. He's going up, 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 up. He does have bad games. I don't want to go out there and see him throw 3 interceptions. But his composure is good too. His composure is kind of like Matt Stafford. He'll throw the pick, but he'll go back out there and he can get it done. It doesn't matter.
That
The
is true,
last
yeah.
time, guys, I have some interesting stuff to talk about. The last time the Bengals won a playoff game was January 6th, 1991. We know that because our dad is a huge Bengals fan, diehard. Till the day he dies, he will be a Bengals fan. We have seen the incredible teams that these Bengals have put out. There's been some good playoff teams in the past that have made it to the playoffs, but they have not been able to get it done. I think one reason, Marvin Lewis was not the greatest head coach in the world, and they just kept him around forever for no reason. Because he would make it to the playoffs and he could not make it past the first round. This team is different. The whole energy is different about this team. I don't know if the Bengals have ever had a team like this before in the past. This is a new era of football, obviously, but their offense game. Zach Taylor does an incredible job as a head coach. I think this team is primed and ready to rock. It's exciting to see this. Like this playmakers on this Bengals team. We got Joe Mixon, Jamar Chase, Joe Mixon, Joe
Mixon
Burrow,
twice.
Trey Hendrickson.
Joe Mixon is worth
He's
mentioning
gonna be
twice.
Jacoby Awuzie, Logan Wilson, Sam Hubbard, Jesse Bates, Von Bell, all these studs,
Star
man.
power, yeah.
I'm so excited to see the Bengals go out, and I'm excited to see what they can do. I'm not
The
a
thing that
Bengals
scares me
fan.
most for the Raiders fans is the chemistry that the offense of the Bengals has, because you see after every game, like Joe Burrow, Joe Mixon, T. Higgins, Jamar Chase, all these guys are just best friends. And when you're out there playing football with your best friends every game, it makes things so much easier. So this Bengals team, man, they are. I don't see them losing this week, and I don't know who they're playing the week after that, but I could see them winning that game as well. The Bengals are hot right now. Hopefully Joey B keeps his composure. We've seen him do it in the college football playoffs before pretty easily, so I don't think the playoffs are going to be a thing that Joey B's too worried about. But I don't know if you have anything else to say about this game at all. It's insane.
Who they think gonna beat them Bengals?
Mason is not clearly rooting for one team to win this game, and neither am I, but I kind of am. But I'm not saying the Raiders don't have a chance. They play teams tough.
They have a chance.
Yeah, they've been playing a lot better as of recent. When you have Derek Carr at quarterback, as much as some people don't think this is true, you always have a chance to win because Derek Carr has the heart to win you games. But that's all we got to talk about here today. Like the video if you enjoyed it. Comment down below. And like I said, 96% of you aren't subscribed, so start slapping that subscribe button, especially if you're still here. If you are still here, that means the video was good, in your eyes at least. Maybe not good in general, but to you guys, it was pretty solid. So hit that subscribe button. Come back, watch some more of our content. We try to post every single day. And I think I already said like and comment, but if I didn't, just comment all that fun stuff. I can't remember what I said. I've been talking about this outro for too long, and I'm going to give it over to Mason, and he's going to break us out of here.
Fantasy Few out, baby. Let's go.